results do speak for themselves. In 2006, when Gary left as chair of the state Republican Party, he left it broke. With less than 6 months to the election, there was no money there, and Tom Jackson had to come in and raise significant money as best he could to do what he could to help people in 2006. To this day, right now, there is less than $80,000 in the state coffers. I ask you, who is prepared for 2010? I can tell you, I want no other job. I don't need a job. I have a good job. I don't need another job. But I can tell you, I can assure you my word, and I will tell you this, and I will promise it to you. I will not step down. I will complete all terms. And every term I've ever been elected in the Oklahoma Republican Party, I have completed my term. And I have left them better off than when I started. I did it when I was county chair. I've done it when I was district committeewoman. I have done it as vice chair. I have done everything I could to make this party better. And that's what I intend to do as your chair, is prepare this party from day one and work every day as hard as I can to raise as much money so that we give more than $38,000 to candidates next time. That we fully fund ourselves into every one of the 9 statewide races. We are fully funded into every one of the House races and the Senate races, and that we make sure we are successful. That I promise to you.
Cheryl, since I've heard that you plan to keep your current job, is that true? And if so, how do you...
My boss would love it if I could. But I have talked with my boss, and I take off time. I've taken a lot of personal time in order to travel and to run for this office. And I've already told her it will take a 4-week notice that I can give to the state university in order to leave my job. But that's so that when I am finished as chair, I could go back to the university and work for the university. They all understand this, and they really wish me well. In fact, they all come and ask me, what are we going to do without you, Cheryl? And I'm like, you know what? Nobody is ever irreplaceable. Never. We always can build on what the last person has done, and that's what I think I hope we do. I will have to step down from my current position and move over to state chair. But I can tell you, I also know what it's going to take to raise money and make sure we have a staff in place, and that we have a lot of money in place so we can fully fund the statewide races that we need to do. And I have to tell you, the other thing is to make sure we have the training material into everybody's hands, and to train, and so we know what we have to do to be successful in 2010. And that's what I'll have to do.
Let me address the previous question. When I became chairman, we had $10,000 in the bank. What you do is you gear up, and then you gear it to elections, and then your balance quite obviously goes down election time. Yes, we have $80,000 in the bank, but you know what? That is not abnormal at all. You know, in fact, the toughest time to raise money is right after the elections. We have, and the $38,000, number one, that's just a lie. We gave over $60,000 in actual cash, but what we also did is we did things that we did voter ID programs, the information was given to candidates. We did all these other things. We gave over $500,000 worth of services and things that we did for the candidates. And the results speak for themselves. You know, the idea that we left the party broke, look at the ethics reports. Compare the ethics reports during those same periods of time. We left the candidate reserve fund very well off, and we left the operating budget very well too. So you know, let's go back and compare at different points in time, and you'll find that we left the party in very good financial position, and right now we're in a very good financial position as well compared to where we normally are at this particular stage of campaign.
The next question is for both of you. Is how do you plan to raise money for the party?
So you both get 2 minutes. Well, just 2 minutes.
We have raised more money during the last 2 years than the party has ever raised. Ever. And one of the things that we did is we put together a plan. Our team, we have a great team together. We put together a plan that said this is what we expect to do. And then we went out and we sold that to the business community or to the donor community and said, here's what we want to do. We want your input. And we got over 27 people that were committed to giving $10,000 a year for 2 years. We've never done this before. But what we did is we went out to them, sat down with them, and sold them on this plan. And we also get money from small donors and everything else. They're ready to re-up again. They're elated. You know, the best results of anyone in the nation they're ready to re-up again, but what they want to know is who is going to be the chairman and what is their plan. You know, I've heard this, well, you ought to be out getting those $10,000 checks, you know, right now, right after the election. That's not the way it works. You go through and in fact, the most money the party has ever had in a non-election year, going from a non-election year to an election year, was $100,000. In 2007 to 2008, we carried over $250,000. Not only have we done a very good job of raising money, we've done an excellent job in managing that money and making sure it goes to the resources and the things necessary to get people elected. So what we will do is do more of what we've done. We want to do more on the internet, now we've almost quit doing telemarketing because two reasons. It costs you 90 cents on the dollar to do it, and you aggravate the heck out of people. So what we do is we analyze every single item that we're doing, and if each item doesn't make us money, then we don't do it. But the best thing you can do is go out and ask people, and people that have confidence in you will contribute money.
Hey, good job. First and foremost, fundraising is a real expert type. You have to have a lot of expertise in it, but you have to have many levels of giving. You have to have where people will donate $1 a day, $5 a month, and it's continuous giving. That is very important to fundraising mechanisms. You have to have that in place. You also have to have middle dollar donations, but you also have to go with the high dollars. But let me tell you some of the other things I want to do. I want to hold a concert with Republican-leaning Christian bands, up-and-coming bands that will get our young people in. Charge a little bit for them to come in, get their information, get them connected. At that point, get them to understand what the Republican philosophy is. It's a way that you can gather people in. You can also have high-dollar speakers come in, and you can have you pay very big money in order to go and have a very small conference or a small meal with them. We've not done those kind of things. You do multi-levels of marketing, and it's what it's called, and it's multi-levels of fundraising. I've done tons of those kind of things. But you also make sure that people believe you, and people will trust you, and people will know that you spend the money correctly, and you're willing to show them how the money's spent. And on top of that, your records are open to people. And you also make sure that you have a good, active, working finance committee. That's in the state party rules. You have at least 25 men or women who can go out and help raise other levels of money to come in because of their circle of influence. We've not really activated those mechanisms that we could in the past. Fundraising is a hard job. It's one to do. You have to go in and you have to ask people for money. But you know what? When they believe in you, they will give to you, and then they will belong with you, and then they will help you to pass your message on out to others. And then they will tell people because they believe in you. It's a nice, beautiful circle when it works right. And fundraising is hard, but it's something I've been very successful in. By the way, let me give you an example. At the National Convention, there was an opportunity for us to go and have lunch with Cindy McCain. In 24 hours, I had 8 tables paid for, just because I called some people up and asked them if they would pay for our ladies to go. Every one of our ladies that was in our delegation, and the spouses, and their friends, all got to go if they wanted to go at the price of somebody else because I raised the money for it.
Okay, along those same lines, how much have you personally raised for party?
Well,
Cheryl.
It depends on what you call about raising money for the party. I got to tell you, when the Monday after we were both elected in 2007, I went to Gary and I said, "What do you want me to work on? Just tell me what you want me to work on." Gary point blank told me he was going to raise the money, he was going to run the headquarters, and he was the media person. And I said, "Okay, I understand that. How can I help you raise money?" I am in the middle of working on a 700-plate luncheon where we will recognize 250 people for their service milestones, something I have done for several years now. I offered to put on a kind of a luncheon or a dinner and raise money, and that wasn't allowed. But let me tell you what I have raised for the party. I've raised for counties, I've helped counties organize, I've gone to the OFRW, and I've gone to clubs and helped them raise money. I have sold things. I have sent people in with checks to the party. I've asked people to give to the party. I have given to the party. I've given to other parties and organizations. So monetarily, you could raise it all up. Oh, and by the way, I did give to candidates, a number of candidates. Probably in the last 2 years, my husband and I have considered we've probably given at least $30,000 in our own funds to the party or to our candidates.